Once again, you shared in the Passion narrative, but in this case, on Good Friday, we used John's Passion narrative. On Sunday, the Passion Sunday, we read from Mark's Gospel. Each and every Holy Week, we read from one of the synoptic traditions. Synoptic means from the same mindset or site. But on Good Friday, we always read from John's Passion. In John's Passion, Jesus is presenting himself not like the Jesus of the synoptic tradition, for he is someone whereby his humanity seems to be emphasized. That is, he feels pain, he feels suffering. He screams out, my God, why have you abandoned me?" He asks for the cup to be taken away from him when he's in the garden. But not the Jesus of John's Gospel. He makes sure that not only he, but everyone else understands exactly who he is. When Judas and the crowd come to arrest, he goes to them. He's not afraid. He's not worried. He knows what he's doing. He knows this is his hour to be victorious. He says to them, "Who are you looking for?" And they respond, "Jesus of Nazareth." And he says, "I am the sacred name of God," to which all the people fall down. They get up, and Jesus says, "Now, who are you looking for?" And they say, "Jesus of Nazareth." And he goes, "I am. So let these people be." But each time he says, "I am," they understand him to be the all-powerful God in front of them, and they fall down. Jesus is not in need of Peter's sword. He's not in need of a legion of angels. He's not in need of anybody's help. He is all-powerful. They lead him away and take him to Caiaphas, and then from Caiaphas they take him to, excuse me, I'm having trouble again. They take him before Pilate, to where there's this official trial. When there's a trial, the objective of trial is to determine truth, a verdict. God bless you, my son. So, as Jesus is supposedly on trial, he who is truth is judging all those around him. He knows he's speaking the truth, and they can't understand that that's the fact. They have false witnesses. They have people trying to explain. And yet, they are ineffective. Jesus is not falling down 3 times in the Passion. He's not doing any of the such. He's able to carry his own cross. There's nothing about Simon of Cyrene coming to help him. No, he is wanting. He thirsts to complete what he came for. He wanted this hour to be victorious, whereby his life is not taken. He decides to give it up on his own. He says, "It is finished," not because they could kill him, but because he chose to give up his spirit so as to bring about the forgiveness of all sin. And the beginning of this service, this celebration, the deacon, Father Dominic, myself, we came in silence. We laid down before the altar, the rock of Calvary, and we literally and figuratively chose to die to self, to fulfill what we're called to do in light of being ordained ministers, to live, to serve, to preach, to teach, to sanctify. We, in turn, led you to understand that your participation and your willingness to choose the same. So when you genuflected or knelt, all right, at the time where Jesus says die, you chose to figuratively and with symbolism that you too are willing to die for others, knowing, and this is the key, we choose to die for others knowing that we share in the victory of Christ. We are confident, as Jesus is confident. The word confident, two Latin words put together, with faith. He knows he's going to rise again. So too do we. We choose to bring about a forgiveness of sins. We choose to give our life to God, knowing and trusting that he will raise us up. It's not Jesus who's just raised up in the resurrection. We too, by participating in his way of life and in confidence, know that the work that we're doing will be completed in Christ, and we will rise with Christ in newness of life. And just as we heard in regard to the book of Hebrews, how the high priest will then enter, that is Jesus, into all eternity in heaven, so too will we. For we, like, the suffering servant in Isaiah, who was determined that he was innocent and that he would be victorious, he took on the beatings, the scourging, knowing that through that obedience, he was going to accomplish not just salvation for himself through his God, but by bringing about forgiveness to others through his own sacrifice. He wasn't some innocent victim who was railroaded. He knew what he was doing and chose to bring about victory. He knew it includes suffering, but the ultimate victory, newness of life, forgiveness of sins, communion with God, eternal in heaven, that is what he chose, not just for himself, but for all of us. As we continue through not just the prayers and petitions which we confidently bring before our God, that through them and our willingness to pray for others, and in acknowledging his cross, as you come before it today, or bow or kneel, or even if you're placed, acknowledge and say to yourself, my God, thank you for your victory over sin and death. You will not just share in it, but you'll share in the glory of his victory. Appreciate what we do, believe in what the scriptures say. Understand that you've been chosen by God to lead others to salvation. It's not just for you. It's about you choosing to be like Christ and doing so for others. Allow the adoration of the cross and your reception of communion to know that God indeed will always nourish you, protect you, and lead you to everlasting life. God bless you all.